heard you crack open the blue light.
Yo, come on in. You guys are here too?
Goodbye, empty couch. Hello, standing room only. Labatt takes everything to the power of we.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Bobcat Tracks presented by Labatt Blue. My name is Sam Hyman, and joined by co-host Tanaya Stevens. What's up, T?
Hello, everyone. Hello.
This is March Madness. We got a lot going on.
A lot going on. A little crossover between the winter sports to spring sports. It's great. It's exciting.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So if you're new to the podcast, we go in depth on our student athletes here at Ohio University, both with their sport and beyond. We had some great conversations today. Our three guests, we had three of them, not one, not two, but three guests during this busy time. We had Brenna Farmer from the softball team leading things off, batting second, good transition, baseball team, Trae Cassidy, and then finishing things off with Jeremy Olszko from the wrestling team. What was your takeaway from these conversations?
I loved them all. I thought they were phenomenal to speak to, very wise, and you guys will be liking them as well.
You need to give us a thumbs up on our YouTube channel, OhioBobcatStudios. Subscribe if you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel. We got a lot of great content, not just Bobcat Tracks, but also content with some of our sports teams throughout the course of the season. All of our sports teams we get content with, and it's a great place to sort of follow along Ohio athletics. So hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up on YouTube. And that's not the only place we're located, and you can get these episodes.
You're right. You can also look at them in Apple and Spotify. So if you're not able to watch, you're able to listen, and that is all we need you to do.
Yes, we need you to tap in to Bobcat Tracks. So we'll start off with our first guest of the day from the softball team, Brenna Farmer. All right, our first guest on Bobcat Tracks presented by Labatt Blue is the one and only Brenna Farmer from the softball team. Brenna, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, super excited to have you on. We chatted last year, and it's been really cool to see your growth from freshman to sophomore year, both as a softball player and a student athlete. So, Brenna, when you think about your freshman year to now, what do you feel like are the areas you've grown the most?
I think most as a human being, and I think that's what translated over. I think I feel way more confident as a person, which has helped. I was not satisfied after the end of last year. Of course, so grateful, so many memories last year getting to play as much as I did, but it was about what more for the team specifically. Like, I wasn't satisfied with my job contributing, both as like on the field physically, but also as a leader. I think there was room in the tank for me, and I'm happy to see myself stepping into that.
You talk about your dissatisfaction with how the season ended last year. How was the team aspect, the team environment as a whole for this last season and going into this season?
I can't be high enough on the softball team at Ohio University. It's amazing just to be around a group of women who empower each other every day. It's so inspiring, and it's in all aspects, from the coaches to my teammates. There's so much room for me to grow. There's room for me to be myself in the best and the worst. And as a student athlete, you see your teammates and your coaches at their best and worst, and it's important to be able to be yourself in those situations.
Absolutely.
What allows you to be at your best, at your worst, like with the interaction when people are at their best and people are at their worst? What allows you to be able to have that approach and connection with everybody, regardless of what they're going through?
I think it's from an individuality standpoint. The softball team, there's lots of personality.
Yes.
And all of the above is accepted. It doesn't, however you are, however you want to be in public, it is accepted by everybody and welcomed by everybody. And that definitely starts with Coach Hall.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Where does it start from? Why is it like that with Coach Hall, do you think? Is it just kind of when you come into the program, that's sort of the tone that's set is be who you are, empower each person to be who they are, their authentic self?
Yeah, I mean, our core, it starts with our core values, I think, which are set in place by Coach Hall: heart, attitude, loyalty, legacy. And we live through those. That comes first in every team meeting. The culture comes first in every win and loss. So it starts there.
Yeah.
What would you say? You say all these personalities on the team. What would you say you contribute in personality-wise, besides the athletic part, for your team?
I think what comes to me first with that is passion. I am not as personality headed as some, but my passion never wavers for each other, for the sport. That is most important to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So where are you from again?
Mount Blanchard.
Mount Blanchard, Ohio?
Yes.
Where is that in relation to Athens, Ohio?
About 2.5 hours northwest. So I live about an hour south of Toledo.
Okay. And we talked last year about just how softball is in your family. You live softball every single day, it seems, so far in your life. When was the first moment where, do you have like the first memory or first moment where softball like really came into the picture for you?
I can remember I was just turning 7 on the 8U softball team in my hometown. My dad is the coach, so he's pitching the balls to everybody. And I mean, my older sister was in middle school at that time. My younger sister was about to be on the same team as me, and my mom's watching. And from then, we spent so much time at the softball field together. And so many memories there.
That's
Born
awesome.
and raised.
Yes, absolutely.
So the game is, the sport is growing significantly. There's so many different outlets. You can play professionally. Athletes Unlimited is a really big opportunity for people to pursue softball professionally. When you were growing up, you mentioned 7, 8 years old. Did you idolize or watch vividly any particular softball player?
So the Florida Gators was my favorite softball team. So 2014, 2015, they won the national championship. So that was specifically Lauren Hager. She was a pitcher and a hitter. So fun to watch, so much passion. They just dominated those couple years. And I'd have been 8, 9, right around then. So that was it for me.
Yeah. Did you watch any professional softball growing up, or was it, because now there's a lot more access to
Yes.
watch pro softball, but what about when you were growing up?
It wasn't near as much when I was growing up. I can remember going to Akron Racers games. So that was Cal Osterman, one of the best pitchers in the history of softball. I have a ball signed by her, and
Really?
yeah, that was pretty much it that I can remember until recently.
Yeah.
Now it's on TV, and there's so many people getting to play professionally.
Yeah, that's really cool. Did you know about Jenna Hall? And she had a little professional career as well.
I did, yeah. I didn't watch her, but yes, I knew that she had gone to play.
Yeah.
Before knowing her here.
That's really cool. So high school, you what's the name of your high school?
Riverdale High School.
Riverdale High School. And softball was that the only sport you played in high school?
I played softball and I played volleyball.
Okay. Yeah, what was your moment like during your high school career where you felt like, all right, I can play at the next level. I can play in college?
I was pursuing playing in college from the time I was in middle school. I mean, every time that we played on the weekend, it was sending 30 and 40 emails with my schedule, and then going to play and then sending thank you emails after the weekend. So it started when I was probably 7th grade or so. My sister went to play in college, so it was always in the back of my head. I went to all of her games at Ohio Dominican, so it started there. It was always something I wanted to do. I mean, softball's been my passion since I was 8.
Yeah, that's amazing. And your dad was your coach, which I'm sure you have plenty of great stories. What did he teach you the most that helped you get prepared for this college experience?
So on your high school softball team, I'm sure you know, Tanaya, like you come from a high school where you are one of the best on your team.
Yeah.
My dad was my coach all through high school, some in middle school, but it was about, like, I made that out, but how can I do it better?
Right.
Like I got a single, how can I get a double? And it didn't have to be a super public thing with the team. It was between me and him, and he had that respect for me, like celebrating what I did well, but also pushing me while I succeeded.
It's always hard. My dad coached me in AAU for basketball, and everyone always was like, you get like an extra, like you get a little cheat code because your dad is living with you and you guys talk about it. But like, it's really not the case because he has to coach other athletes as well.
Right.
But I think the cheat code with it is that you're able to form relationships better outside of just seeing your dad as the coach, but you see your dad as somebody that you can talk to about anything, which it helps in the long run.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. So your recruiting process, getting into Ohio University, when did Ohio University come on your radar as a place to play?
So softball's a little interesting. You don't get to talk to colleges until September 1st of your junior year, but they come to your games in the summer, so you kind of have an idea of who's following you and things like that. So Ohio was coming to my games. That would have been Coach Kenzie and Coach T. So they were coming, and then on September 1st, I got a call from them. I came here on about September 8th or so and left with an offer. So it started from there, and then I committed on December 23rd of that same year.
You've got these dates memorized.
Yeah, well, it was really cool. It was really important.
Yeah.
What was it about Ohio that made you want to commit here?
So I'm from a small town. I knew I didn't want a city. I pursued some city universities and knew that wasn't for me. Just when I come here, especially with athletes, it's like we're all in this together kind of feeling. Like I've never passed an athlete who wasn't willing to say hi to me. It doesn't feel that any athletes are above any others here.
It's pivotal. You were just saying about how she memorized the dates. I remember the dates too. It's a crucial moment in your life because it dictates a lot for you.
Yeah.
And so
that's crazy.
I understand. What
So this was a no-brainer. Like you had it. It was not a hard decision to.
No, I let a couple
college.
other things kind of play out just to see where things would fall a little bit, but this is what called to me eventually.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I committed to Coach Kenzie and Coach T, and then the coaching change happened.
Yeah.
So I was injured. I tore my ACL the very end of my junior year of high school. So I was not playing travel softball, and I was just a verbal commit at that point. Like Ohio had no tie to me.
Right.
On paper.
Right.
And then the coaching change happened. So I wasn't able, and of course, like I still wanted to stay at Ohio, but at that point I hadn't even talked to Coach Hall yet. Who knew if she wanted to keep me, so, but I wasn't able to be recruited by anyone else because I wasn't playing. So it was definitely a scary time.
I was just about to say that. That must have been a scary time.
It was hard to just let it work out, but I mean, the first phone call with Coach Hall, I knew I wanted to stay here, and that was one of the first things she said to me, that she wanted me to stay here. So that would just brought so much peace to me, and I was so excited. I had talked to Coach Hall some at Pitt when she was the coach at Pitt before, so I had some conversation with her. But once I committed here, we were calling every week, every other week, right around there. Yeah.
What were those conversations like?
She checked in on how I was doing, like how recovery was going, because I wasn't playing. And, she would tell me about getting settled here a little bit. It sounded like she had a really warm welcome coming back after she had already been here, which was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. When she came, I was looking, like researching her, and someone pulled me aside, like, Coach Hall's really cool. And I see it. I see it through the team. But she probably doesn't really know me. But when I see her out, I'm like, she's super cool.
One of the things I love hearing from Coach Hall is, like, the joy is in the doing.
Yeah.
The wins and the losses, like, don't get too caught up in the wins and the losses. The joy is in the doing. Like, can you elaborate on how you maintain that mindset?
Specifically after a win, she always tells us to stay grateful. All we have to do is to score one run than the other team. So it's okay if that's 16-15. Was that the prettiest game? No. But to be grateful for the win, to be grateful for the time to be together, to be grateful for our ability to hit the ball and play defense, to be healthy. That is something that's important. And we talk about things that we're thankful for before every game day, which I think is important, just to get that on the air to everyone else, just for everyone else to know what's on your heart that day. And at no time are we just athletes. Like we treat each other as human beings. Coach Hall is great about treating us as human beings first.
When you say before every game day, you talk about what you're thankful for. Does that vary for you, or do you like to kind of keep it consistent with what you're thankful for?
I almost always share that I'm grateful for my family, but every once in a while it'll vary. You know, I have a teammate that's hurting a little bit. I'm thankful for her today. You know, like things like that. Or like we're in Charleston, it's nice out. We have short sleeves on. I'm thankful for the weather. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's the little things sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
I love that. I love that. It's one, just as it gets your mind off of the fact that I think you get anxious before a game, and when you put in perspective that you're doing it for a bigger picture, it helps.
You're only a sophomore, but you have this leadership style and mentality that really resonates. Why do you feel like you're confident in that role as like being a leader, being a vocal leader? I
think I've always, even growing up, I've expected the most out of myself, but also I hold people to a high standard. And that's important to me, not just going through the motions ever, because we're not, especially this year, we're not a go through the motions team. We came in the fall very focused, very ready. And I think that's showing up on the field right now. And just to hold that high standard all the time, of course, there's room to have fun all the time. And I think our team is the perfect example of that. But to stay focused and to stay ready when our time is coming, like right now.
The things that you have to go through when you're a leader, like you have to be able to have the conversations when things are going poorly, when things are going well, when things are in between. How do you approach like a conversation with anybody in the Ohio softball program when something isn't going well versus something is going well? Is it the same tone of voice? Like how do you go about those different conversations?
I think I've established a good amount of respect that people have for me and that I have for others. I mean, everyone knows that when you have to have those tough conversations, it's not out of a lack of respect. It's actually out of more respect.
Yeah, it's out of love too.
Right.
You care so much that you need to be raw. You need to be authentic with that person.
It's definitely not the same. It's not the same when it's good and bad. So I was always taught. My dad is a coach. My mom is a coach. The best time to pick at little things is when you're playing your best. Just to pick at the small things when you're losing, you need some pick me up. So when we're having a good practice, then all of a sudden it goes a little sideways. That to me is the best time to just get a little more detailed. Now, when it's a tough practice, it's about getting through it. It's about turning around. It's not about being perfect.
Yeah, that's great.
That's great.
Is there an example of a practice where you, like this year or last year, where like it wasn't going well and you ultimately, like you said something and it resonated?
What comes to mind specifically is this semester I play first base, so I'm with the infield all the time. We do a lot of split time at practice, so the outfielders are with Coach Hall, we're with Coach Piper. And my infielders aren't throwing the ball great, which is tough as a receiver. Because, of course, I have a big frame. I'm trying to catch all balls that are coming at me. But it's a two-sided thing. So we just take a quick break. It's never a big deal. It doesn't have to be a big deal. We meet at second base. Hey, guys, like, what's going on? Even just a quick break in competition is good for everybody.
Yeah.
We can do this. We've done this a lot of times.
Yeah.
Hit me in the chest.
I love that. And when you are so close with your teammates like you all are off the field, having those tough conversations makes things
easier.
a whole lot easier. It's like, I know I'm actually glad you're approaching me about this this situation because I need it. And that's really great. That's really great to hear. You mentioned you're a first baseman. You're a shortstop too in high school. I remember you telling me that, right?
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
a little bit.
How'd you like that?
It was tough left-handed.
Yeah. I'm left-handed too, and I've always wanted to like play shortstop, but like unless everything was flipped and you hit the ball and ran to third instead of first, like you just can't play. You just can't.
That's tough.
There's nothing.
Your brain and all that, you would have to think and all that.
Right.
No.
It was really cool. So my last 2 years, my younger sister, was the pitcher. So it was so cool to play right behind her like that. And before that, when she wasn't, we had a good pitcher that was the year older than me. When she wasn't pitching, she was playing right beside me. We were playing third and short. So, yeah, that's so much fun. She's doing her last year right now with my dad as the coach at my high school.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you are also a student here at OU.
Yes.
You put a lot of time into the athletics
What's
piece
the
of
first
this.
part of the title?
Student athlete. Yeah, it's not athlete student. It's, it's student athlete. So what have you learned the most about being a student while also competing in softball? What have you learned the most about the student element of it?
I didn't know how much a university like this would treat it as it takes a village. It is I am the student, but there's so many people that are in your back pocket to help you. And that brings a community feeling that is important to me, at least. I don't do well with you have to do this all by yourself. And I tend to treat things that way, like this is all on my back, but it's not. I mean, even people who don't have an academic title, Coach Hall, you can go into Coach Hall's office and talk about anything you want to. And her door's always open for things like that. And then we have Annika, we have advisors, we have study hall time. All of those things are here to help you. It's not just by yourself.
That's good that you can identify that as well, though, because it's hard to know that you have, like you said, it's hard to know that, like, those people are there, but you still want to just be like, I can do this by myself.
Right.
So it's good that you also take the initiative to utilize those tools and those people that are available, because, yeah, it definitely takes a village.
Mm-hmm.
What's the coolest class you've taken here so far, or most interesting class you've taken?
My first semester, I took child and adolescent psych with Dr. Grant. He's, to date, my favorite professor. Just an interesting topic. I'm psychology right now.
Okay.
So yeah, I enjoy learning about it.
Yeah.
And it was a personable classroom. Like there were 20 of us in there. He was from me to you, away from us.
Okay.
So it was more of like a conversation, like
interactive, not
Yes.
just a lecture.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you prefer those types of classes? Or,
I do. I find it easier to follow along, especially when not forced to be interactive, but you will be called on, you will be expected to speak in class like that. I find that easier to understand the material than like a big lecture hall.
Yeah.
It's slowly but surely going away is the remote, like, online classes, which I can't do.
You don't like the online classes?
I can't do it. I remember I fell asleep one class, and he was on the Teams for 20 minutes because I fell asleep. I couldn't do it. But I mean, I like those classes too, where you're able to talk and like the small groups instead of like having 200 people in a lecture type of thing. But I have to like take exams inside and stuff like that. I can't do the remote. Yeah.
I was always that person that just was afraid to raise their hand, and so having a smaller environment where it's not this massive lecture and the teacher asks or professor asks, hey, like, does anybody have any idea what this is on the board? And there's like 200 people in the class, and I'm like, I am not raising my hand.
It's okay to be wrong, Sam.
Yeah. Being a student athlete, you're almost forced to have a better relationship with your professors, so you're immediately more personable with them. Which I prefer. I don't enjoy the professor not knowing my name or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
I think to have an impact both ways like that is important.
Mm-hmm. So do you plan to continue the psychology major, or do you have your sights set on transitioning to another major?
Well, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. So I've completed all gen eds that I have to. So I'll have 2 years to finish what major I decide. So I was thinking education a little bit. Both my parents are teachers. with the way that public schools are moving a little bit, I'm thinking maybe hearing, speech, and language pathology.
Okay.
It's about the same amount of school. I could work in a school if I want to, but wouldn't have to.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool. All right, before we get into the final segment here of Off the Tracks, just a couple more softball questions. With everything you talked about, growth at the beginning of this from freshman year to now, is there any specific drill or thing that you've worked on the most this year that's really helping you from a hitting standpoint? Those numbers are good right now.
Thank you. I think what comes to me first is remembering this is an at-bat. This is not the entire season riding on my at-bat, on my back. This is not the entire game riding on my back. Even when we're hitting off the machine in the cages, just, taking a bad swing and then stepping out and recentering my focus to that. Not that this will keep going bad if I let it. Just to take a minute and reset.
Is it easy to have that quick dialogue during an at-bat? Or is it one-word things you say, like during an at-bat in a game? Like, how does that dialogue happen through an at-bat?
I think it varies for me depending on the count, depending on the game situation. When I'm ahead in the count, I always am trying to think beyond time with this pitch. Because when I'm ahead in the count, the pitcher has to push back. So it's going to be a good pitch. So I'm always trying to think that. But I don't want to be swinging at bad pitches.
I played baseball in high school, and I just would get in my head so much when I would swing at a bad pitch or strike out.
Yeah.
How do you handle when things don't go well at the plate? Like, what do you say to yourself?
So right now, me and Coach Piper, we're actually just talking about this. I'm striking out more this year than what I had been at this time last year, but that's okay because I wasn't hitting the ball like this last year. So I'm willing to trade that. And just going back to that, this is not the end of the world mindset. I think I get hit with a wave of emotion, pitch to pitch. Like if the umpire calls a strike that I don't agree with, it's hard for me to kind of recenter a little bit. But the game, like you are still in control no matter what happens. If I need a minute after that wave of emotion, I get to call time and go talk to Coach Hall. It doesn't have to be faster. It's as fast as what you make it.
Yeah. Is the pitching that you've faced here while at Ohio University, just if you pack it all in, what's the most challenging part about facing like college pitching? Is it the different pitches that are thrown from a pitcher to a pitcher, or what is it?
I think the change of speed is hard in the change of eye level. I think I do better with lateral pitches, so curveball, screwball, than rise ball, drop ball in the change of speed. Yeah, I think pitchers in the preseason, I think the pitchers have probably, like on average, set around like 62 miles an hour or so, which is close to what it will be during the season, which is nice to already be seeing that. But it's funny, some pitchers are more successful than others, but every batter varies. Like I'll have a harder time with a pitcher who might not be as successful than as a better one, or vice versa.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Last question before Off the Tracks. What are you still seeking to learn about yourself throughout your time at OU? What are you?
a tough one.
Yeah. What are you seeking to learn or get out of your college experience? You still have so much in front of you, but what are you seeking to learn?
I think I want to learn how much of an impact I can have on others, and that goes back to the leadership thing. I think what more can I do? I think I'm moving into a role right now where I go home from practice and I'm like, how could I have handled that conversation differently? Just so that these people are comfortable talking to me, or they know that they have this. Right now, I mean, I'm playing first base. I have 2 freshmen taking first base reps with me. So it's important how I carry myself all the time. And I'm totally aware of that. Sometimes you slip, we're all human beings. But to know that I have the ability to make great impact on people.
You do, Brenna.
Yeah, you do.
You really do.
You're very wise beyond your years.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So now to just some off the tracks fun questions. Tanaya, do you want to lead us off?
Yes. What song is...
Getting people hype. All right.
Yeah.
What do we got?
What song is on repeat right now?
Anything Eminem.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm into
I'm
that.
an Eminem girl. Yeah.
I like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's shocking.
Mockingbird?
That one's okay.
Yeah.
Eminem is he's a lyricist.
I like the
Yes.
throwback Eminem. I like old school Eminem.
Oh, yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
if you really listen to his music, he picks it apart. He's really.
Yeah.
You gotta really like zone
Yeah.
in on him. Nice.
I like that. I like that. All right. What is your go-to karaoke song? Is it an Eminem song?
I just sang bus karaoke willingly, which I never would have done last year. I sang The Real Slim Shady by Eminem.
Nice. Bus
Getting out your
karaoke.
shell.
Bus karaoke.
I missed that because we
Yeah.
flew to Arizona.
I know. It's so much fun. So
Getting out your shell though.
Absolutely, yeah. Last year, so all the new people on the bus have to sing bus karaoke. Of course, if they want to, but that's like tradition. So we had to last year, which I was not. I
What'd
did
you
not
do
care
last
for.
year?
Firework by Katy Perry.
Do you get to pick that or?
Yeah, you get to pick
Okay.
the song. And then this year, a whole bunch of people were singing it on the way back from Elon. So we sang it for fun.
The go-to bus karaoke song.
Yeah,
That's,
well, cheat code if you ever have to sing bus karaoke. It's easier to sing songs that you can talk instead of sing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, it's just a microphone and you can't hear yourself and no one else can hear the music. So it's just you talking.
Yeah.
Cheat code, guys.
Who's got the best voice on the team?
Jordan killed it. So she sang.
Jordan Wyckoff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she was singing bus karaoke, and it's funny. Like everyone's voice is not great when we sing bus karaoke, and we can only hear her, and she's killing it. Coach Piper, after she was done, was like, "It's not fun when you're good at it."
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Tanaya.
Wrestle. Oh wait, no, I don't know.
We have a wrestler
yeah,
coming up
that's
later.
what I say.
Yeah. Teaser. If stick around, we have a wrestler and a baseball student athlete coming up on the show.
Dinner with one celebrity. Who would it be?
I have to think an athlete.
You don't have to. You could say.
I think that's it, an athlete or a coach. Maybe Patty Gasso is Oklahoma softball
yeah.
coach right now. I would call her a celebrity at this point.
She is.
should.
She is.
Yeah.
You should.
Favorite pizza topping?
Banana peppers.
Nice.
Would you rather know what everyone thinks about you or everyone knows what you think about them?
What everyone thinks about me.
That
What
is
everyone
such
thinks
a-
about me.
I say that too because I tell people straight up what I think about them.
Yeah.
You're straight up.
I feel like you're straight up too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel
like
like
it.
she's pretty straightforward.
like it.
Yeah, for sure.
Great answer. What is your favorite meal?
Spaghetti.
Ooh. We can hang out.
Yeah,
We can hang out.
for sure. For sure.
You can face any pitcher in the world. Which pitcher would you face? Or you can let me rephrase the question. So you can hit against anybody. Doesn't have to be a softball player. Who would you want to like pitch to you to hit off of? It can be anybody.
I'd like to stand in the box. I think hit is an aggressive word for some of these people I'm about to say, but I like to stand in the box against Cat Osterman and Montana Fouts. I think both would be
Two legendary softball.
Yeah, for sure. That would just be awesome to see from a batter's view.
Nice. And then
Superpower.
Yeah.
Superpower. I think to read people's minds. Just like you said. I think like you said, I'm a tell people straight up person. I think things would go smoother if everyone was a tell people straight up person.
Absolutely.
So just to get that out in the open would help lots of situations.
Nice.
You can read their mind like, I know you're thinking about me right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I'm very aware of situations.
Yeah.
Like I can tell when I'm the problem or when I'm the topic.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just tell me. And that's how I feel too. Like you can just tell me. We can just talk about it, but that would skip a step. You could just see what they're thinking
Yeah.
about.
Nice. One last one that I just thought of. What is your favorite spot on campus here at OU?
I like the hammock park.
Oh.
Yeah.
Peaceful.
Yeah.
I gotta check that out. Gotta
Never
check it out.
been there?
I don't think so. There's a hammock there, right? Or
Yeah.
no?
You have to
Maybe
bring
it's
them.
just
You have to
bring
bring
hammocks. There aren't hammocks provided.
Yeah, that would be.
All right. What's that?
That wouldn't be good.
If there are hammocks there?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just saying it,
Yeah, I'd want to clean the hammock.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Bring it
that's
on.
true. Well, Brenna, thank you so much for coming on Bobcat Treks. Really appreciate it. And we look forward to following you and the team all season long.
Yeah, thank you. Go Bobcats.
Go
Bobcats.
Bobcats. All right, our next guest on Bobcat Tracks, presented by Labatt Blue, from the baseball team, Trae Cassidy. Baseball weather. It is finally baseball weather
It has
today.
arrived.
Yeah,
it
it's
has
here.
arrived.
Finally.
How do you feel? It's
Really
like
excited, really
breaking
excited
out.
for the season, yeah.
It is 50 plus degrees right now.
Yeah,
That is insane. What's your favorite temperature to play baseball in?
Honestly, what it is right now.
Yeah.
Too cold, obviously. Hands hurt, but when it's too hot, it gets a little difficult. Definitely being a catcher as well. I like it when it's a little chilly. So when I'm sweating, it's not like too hot. When it's too cold, it's kind of
Fingers. You can't feel 'em. Yeah.
yeah. It's
You
tough.
can't feel your hands.
Yeah, but I mean, as long as I'm playing baseball, that's fine.
Love it. So let's go back to the beginning and kind of run through your journey a little bit here.
Yeah.
Tell us where you're from and how you found baseball.
So, family's from Detroit, Michigan, that area. Grew up in California for a while, Apple Valley, kind of high desert area. Started playing football first, honestly, but my dad always played baseball. Played professionally for a few years. Ended up having to retire because of an injury, but yeah, most of my passion for baseball comes from him for sure. Being my coach since I was an infant. I got a bat in my hands when I was a toddler, so it's always been my passion, and I love it. So,
What was it besides the fact of your influence of your dad?
I feel like baseball's such a unique game. I feel like a lot of sports out there aren't as mental as baseball, and I've kind of fallen in love with the mental side of it, and that's kind of influenced me to continue on and spread my word through baseball, which is a huge part of me. So,
What is mental about baseball? Because I'm intrigued by that.
if you fail 7 out of 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer. So
Yeah.
you got to get used to failing in this sport. And it's a good life coach, really. A lot of failures happen in your life. A lot of things that you don't want to happen, but it's all about the adversity. And baseball has really taught me how to be able to move past failure and move towards success,
What's an example of a moment where you failed and how did you overcome it?
I would say last year, honestly, my first start as a Bobcat was I hit fine. I think I went 2 for 4 or something like that, but catching-wise, first steal, I airmailed a ball into center field, kind of just like that first game jitters. That was definitely awakening moment for me, because I was pretty stressed out, pretty anxious for the game, and I failed in a way, but I was able to move past that and ended up playing pretty well.
It's
Yeah.
a different feeling because it's a new uniform, new
Yeah.
system, new environment.
Yeah.
It's a different level, so yeah, that's understandable.
So when you were a teenager, you talked about your influence that your dad had on you. What did he teach you the most early in your baseball journey that still resonates with you to this day?
I'd say energy and hustle. My dad was always a guy that brought a lot of energy to the baseball field. My dad was my coach for all of my teams growing up until probably my last year of summer ball. So having him in the dugout, always bringing energy, whether it was we were down or up, he always brought energy, and that's kind of influenced me to be kind of a staple of energy for the team, and that's a big part of my game as well.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Detroit Catholic Central.
Nice. And that is cool.
Yeah, was it a co-ed Catholic school? Or?
No, it was all boys.
I went to all girls Catholic school, so it's cool.
So what was that like? What did you take away from that experience the most?
I mean, time management was huge at our school. That was definitely something that helped me prepare for college. But it was definitely an adjustment at first. I went to middle school and elementary publicly. So going into that private setting with all boys was definitely different. But, I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world. All the connections that I've built, there's a lot of successful alumni from our high school that help you along the way. I still have people reach out to me, which is really cool.
Was it a competitive school as well
Yeah.
when it comes to sports? So how was baseball for your school?
We were pretty good. Honestly, our conference was dominant in the country. We had number 1 St. Mary's in the country, a top 20 team in Brother Rice. We were up there. Liggett was up there. So it was definitely a competitive conference. But, I mean, we held our own. We were very good. We had, I think, 5 of my class go to college to play baseball. I think 3 of us were D1. And then, obviously, Matt Einich, who's on the team here with me, one of my best friends, he ended up coming here as well to play. So that was pretty cool.
The two of you played together in high school as well?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's definitely a cool relationship that me and him have. We're like best friends, and being able to kind of be an influence to him and kind of bring him to Ohio University in a way was really cool to see, especially because I get to play with one of my guys that I've played with for a while.
Wow, that is super cool to
Yeah.
have that happen.
Home
Yeah.
away from home type of thing
Yeah.
too. So
What was it like playing with him in high school?
He's really good. Really smooth in the infield. Really good bat to ball skills, unreal. And he always brings like just a calming energy. And he's helped me a lot too. I'm kind of like an emotional person. I get a little into it, so he kind of like helps me cool down a little bit. But yeah, it's been a cool experience playing with Matt. He's always been there for me, and I've been there for him. And also throwing down to second base, like throwing to him, we kind of have that connection already, so it's good.
Yeah, really cool.
So how was the recruiting process to get you to land in Ohio?
Honestly, I had a pretty big recruiting process. I was highly recruited out of high school, had some Power 5 offers, but overall, I really wanted to play somewhere where I was going to have an opportunity to start right away. And Ohio just felt like the right fit for me. I loved the campus. I loved my conversations with the coaches that I had before committing. And I just felt really wanted here. I mean, I think it's shown. So
That's great. That is great. You came in, and your first year, you kind of were in and out of the lineup for the most
Yeah.
part. Now this season, you're more of a regular starter, whether it's
Yeah.
first base or catcher. Jackson Cawthorn is also one of the catchers as
Yeah.
well that plays, right?
Yeah. So me and Jackson will kind of rotate behind the plate, obviously, because everyone can't catch every game. So me and him will rotate. When I'm catching, he'll DH. When he's catching, I'll play first. So it's kind of like we both need to be in the lineup. We both bring a lot of positives to the team, so we both need to be in the lineup, and we've made it work.
So reflecting on high school and so far in college, what is something that you didn't know about yourself then in high school that you now have realized about yourself?
I'm really really into relationships. I feel like baseball has brought me so many relationships that I didn't even realize until I got here, that have been great for me. And I feel like continuing to build those relationships and kind of be a role model to those young players. I mean, I'm still a young player, but still being able to be a role model and show my experience to them and help them out has definitely been something that I didn't realize I could do. And it's definitely been something that I've been doing this year, and I love it. So
That's great.
Yeah.
What's an example of your approach with building relationships?
I mean, obviously, as a catcher, I need to be really close with my pitchers. That's a huge part of baseball, having that connection. So just having conversations with them, calming them down on the field, and outside of the field, like hanging out with them other than baseball, like not talking about baseball when we're hanging out outside of baseball, just being friends. Like, that's a huge part of why we're so close as a team.
Pivotal.
That is massive.
Yeah, it is.
Really, really important. We just had a softball student athlete on, Brenna Farmer, and she told us about the significance of really being close with your teammates both on and off the field. And when you have those tough conversations on the field,
It's easy.
it's easy because you're close with your teammates.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm sure that's something you can relate to.
Yeah, you can definitely, like, get into people's skin a little bit more on the field, especially because, like, after that game or after that practice, like, you guys are just best friends again. And I have 37 best friends on my team, so
Tough love.
yeah, yeah, for
It
sure.
really is.
So you're catcher. You've played a little bit of first base as
Yeah.
well, DH. What's the biggest thing that you can say about, like, what it takes to be a successful catcher first?
To be a successful catcher, you need to be vocal. You need to be a guy that has tough skin. Catchers get beat up. We have to block balls. We have to wear balls. Like, foul balls come to us all the time. So it's definitely a difficult and tough position, but you can't, like, show your pain. You can't show fear or anything like that. So being very level-minded is really important in the catching game. And also just demanding the baseball from your pitcher, showing, like, where you want it. And
Receiving the ball is something that I feel like looks easier than it actually is. It's like trying to catch the ball and keep your glove exactly where the ball was thrown instead of, like, catching it here and then, like, the momentum takes it down this way. It's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely an art. I'd say catching's an art more than just, like, something you're good at. And receiving the ball is definitely a huge part of the game, and that's something I pride myself in. I feel like that's probably the number one part of my game, and that's been definitely something that's helped our pitchers. Pitchers want to throw to catchers that are going to win them strikes and keep strikes. So it's important to...
Yeah, is that, like... How are you good at receiving? Is that like having strong wrists, like doing those curls in the weight room?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of forearm strength, obviously, but it's also like just like training the movement. You're starting below the baseball, and you're working up towards everything. You got to keep kind of like your elbow and your shoulder straight, and it's all like from back here muscles when the moving part happens. But having a strong wrist is important because you can't like catch it and like do that.
Yeah.
Like it would make it look pretty bad. So
it's layered. That's a layered position.
yeah, for sure. It's definitely a lot.
Trying to deal with people on base as well.
Yeah.
You got to really be aware of a lot of things. You almost have to have like a map in your head where you're going to potentially throw the ball if something happens with runners on base, and also have that locked in moment with your pitcher on what's being thrown.
Yeah, 100%. It's a lot of anticipation. And that's a word that I like to use a lot when I explain catching. You got to anticipate where the pitch is going to be thrown. You got to anticipate what runners are going to do. You got to anticipate what play is going to happen in that at-bat. There could be a throw from the outfield to home. Let's say there's a runner on second. Like, you got to anticipate that's going to happen, and you got to line up your infield. And so it's really all on us to kind of keep the defense running in a way.
What has been taught to you here at Ohio with this baseball program that you may not have thought about earlier in your career? Like, is there something that you've been taught from a coach or even one of your teammates about the game, whether it's playing first base, catching, DHing, hitting tactic, like something that you didn't know earlier on that you've been taught while you've been here?
Yeah, for sure. Starting off defensively, I mean, I haven't played much infield in my career. I've always been a catcher, so learning from JR, Nelson, Matt, obviously, and Nick Dolan, kind of like getting the ropes of how to field ground balls, kind of counting hops, the position you want your body in. They've definitely helped me with that. And also Canyon and Craig have helped me a lot with footwork at first base, just kind of learning the ropes of where you want your feet to be when a ball's thrown at you. So that's definitely been a big help. And then offensively, JT Heenan just came in this year.
Yeah.
He's a dog. Great dude. But he's definitely taught me a lot about kind of the mental side of hitting and the approach. You know, we all are Division I hitters. We're all here for a reason. We all have good swings. So really it might be some minor touches with your mechanics, but it's mostly just an approach-based kind of thing that we're learning from JT, and he's been helpful with kind of like being on the heater and getting your A swing off rather than just being timid and taking pitches you should swing at. So, I mean, he's definitely been a big help with this offense, and I think it's shown through the first few weekends. We've put up some pretty good games with runs and whatnot.
For sure. Have you always had the same batting stance, or has your batting stance? I know that's a huge thing, baseball and softball, is that batting stance. Like, I think about the crazy batting stances back in the day with like Gary Sheffield going like this.
Yeah, his son actually plays at Florida State. It's the same swing. It's funny.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me at all. That got to follow in your father's footsteps. But yeah, do you have a wild batting stance? Has it evolved over the years?
It's definitely evolved. You know, I used to be very minimalistic with my load and my stance, but I've kind of gotten a little bigger, stronger, so I can put myself in different positions, and I'm more open now. I kind of got a weird stance if you look at it.
Really?
I mean, it works for me.
Yeah,
so,
whatever works, man.
Yeah.
That's so it's hard. It would be hard for someone else to like try to duplicate your batting stance.
I think so. There's a few things that I do that are a little different, but I mean, we all have our own things, and we all are successful for our own things, and we all have our own swings. So, being able to put yourself in the right position, whether it's looking kind of funny or not, like as long as you're in the right position at contact, you're going to be a good hitter.
Right. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how it looks in the beginning.
He's got his own swing. He's doing his own thing.
Julio Franco, old school. I don't know if you know who Julio Franco
Yeah.
is. It was like this. Like he had the bat like this. And
There's some crazy stances in baseball, but
yeah.
What works for you works for you.
Yeah, that's very true. So you brought up Canyon McWilliams, who told me about just sort of the mental side of what you all do, in addition to the on the field stuff, the mental aspect of it. What have you peeled from that has helped you as a student athlete? Yeah,
Canyon's been a huge help for this team. I mean, probably a big piece in why we're successful as an offense. And honestly, a huge part in why this team's going to be successful this year. He's definitely helped a lot with kind of like being even-minded on the field, not remembering past at-bats and not dwelling on past situations that you might have not succeeded in, and just kind of moving forward and being in the present. And last year, Canyon actually helped me, and he was talking to me and saying, like, hey, like, if you're struggling, like, talk to someone, like, go talk to a sports psych. And I did. His name's Todd Nadu. He's from my hometown, and he's been a huge help too in my mental part of my game. We've kind of created a routine for games that helps me kind of like relax and keep an even mind and stay focused on the present, because I used to be a guy that really dwelled on my past at bats, and kind of just being able to move on has been a huge part of Kane's word, and also kind of just my sports psych's word.
It's great. That's great that you can have, that sports psych, but also another teammate who sees that, but also is giving you that advice to go seek help and stuff of that nature. And then just understanding from that viewpoint. You guys are like, it's a very like close relationship that it's hard as guys to talk about that. So that's good that he can identify that, you can identify that. Yeah. And it helps for relationships for the entire team too. Yeah,
100%. I mean, every athlete in the baseball world's definitely gone through something like mentally, and it's definitely a mental game, a lot of stress to the mind. So, I mean, young baseball players out there, like, if they need help, they should go seek it, because, I mean, it's helped me so much. I definitely was struggling last year a little bit, and I've definitely been happier just off the field and on the field. So,
That's great.
Just having fun. you know?
Yeah, just having fun. What does your routine look like now? Can you share a little bit about like what your routine is?
Yeah, so it starts in the morning, obviously. I eat the same breakfast before games. I get a good lunch in. I get to the field pretty early, like the locker room, the field pretty early. Go through kind of like a stretching routine just to get my mind in the right place. I also like meditate. That's a huge part of what has brought success to my game. Just kind of meditating, doing some breath work. And then, you know, as we're starting to get closer to the game, I'll say a prayer. That's been something that I've implemented to my game. I've gotten really close with God over the last year. I actually grew up Jewish, but converted to Christianity last year. So been really close with God and building a relationship, and that's also helped me. So kind of glorifying him before the game has been huge for me. And then we also pray as a team right before. I don't know if you've seen that at the games, but we kind of gather and
The
we
huddle
pray.
up.
Yeah. And then like on deck or in the game, like I have certain routines that I go through. We have like a green light and a red light routine. And the green light routine's kind of like before you're at bat, you're walking up, so you do the same thing. I kind of have a pretty noticeable green light routine. I kind of like shuffle through the box, and then I write a P in the dirt for my grandpa who passed away. Just kind of like reminding myself, like, you're watching down on me, you're proud of me. Like, that's a really good cue for me, like seeing people proud of me, and like my grandpa definitely is proud of me. So being able to tell myself that definitely gives me some confidence getting into the box. That's a huge part of my green light routine. And then our red light routine, we do it with 2 strikes. We bang for the team. So we look back at the dugout, hit our chest, just to tell our team, like, hey, this at-bat's for you. We're going to get the job done for you. And then you take a big breath, kind of just to, like, calm yourself, get back in the box, and get the job done.
That's fantastic insight.
love that.
Yeah, I love that, man.
All of it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so calculated, and there's so much meaning behind it. Every time you get 2 strikes on you.
Yeah. Well, you'll see it when you guys come
Yeah,
out to the
I'm
field.
paying attention to that.
Yeah.
Anytime
guys
I
we
might
get
do
kids.
that. I might start doing that with
Yeah,
2
let's get
strikes.
the crowd. Let's get the crowd into
Yes,
it. You know,
please. You turn around and the entire crowd's doing
that'd be
the
so
same
hype.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be sweet.
You guys got to do it.
Tap in.
For sure.
That's great. I also love what you said about the like past, like present moment. You brought up the present moment, like handling the present moment, past, dwelling on the past, the future. I like to think of it as like present moment is powerful, the future is distracting, the past is emotional.
Yeah.
And it's really hard.
That was deep.
Yeah, I thought about that
For
a
sure,
while,
yeah.
but like it's hard to stay present, man. It really is hard to stay present.
Yeah, especially when like a lot of us have goals to play on after this.
Yeah.
I definitely want to follow my dad's footsteps and play professionally. So that's something that I can't really look at right now, but like that's obviously like an end goal. And it's hard to like not look at that. It's hard to like say like, oh, if I don't go 3 for 3 today, like maybe that doesn't happen. So that's definitely a hard part, but like I've been really good at just staying in the present and not dwelling on that, not dwelling on the past as well. And I think that's why my success has kind of flourished this year.
And it's hard being in an environment where everybody's good.
Yeah.
And so then you're picking on yourself like, I feel like I'm actually good, but like, dang, like the guy next to me, he's killing it. And the guy next to me, he's killing it. So you got to really look yourself in the mirror and like, I know what I'm worth.
Yeah.
And why you're here. And you can't question the fact that why you're here. You just can only elevate from there.
Yeah, that was definitely a wake-up call for me, too, last year. First year in Division I baseball, everyone's good.
Yeah.
You're like, am I good for this?
Yeah.
Like, am I good enough? And then you just got to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, you're here for a reason. Like, go ball out.
Yeah.
Go
Go
ball
have
out.
Go ball out.
Anything you like to go out and do outside of baseball, like interests-wise?
Yeah, I'm a big golfer. My dad and I have played golf my whole life, so play a lot of golf. And then obviously hanging out with the boys and getting close and having that relationship's huge outside of baseball. I also like fishing. It's fun. And then like I like doing Bible studies and reading the Bible and stuff like that. So
Really cool.
That is great.
Good to have those interests outside of baseball
Yeah,
to,
for sure.
to disconnect.
Human.
Little off the tracks. You ready?
Ready?
Anything else? We covered a lot for sure. Actually, the last question I had written down that I forgot about. What are you still seeking to learn during your time with the Ohio baseball program?
I'm still trying to become a better leader. I think that's a huge part of the catching game as well. So kind of just like looking at guys like Nick Dolan, what they do on and off the field to be a leader, because he is a huge leader of this team. Just learning from them so I can put that into my game and be a leader to all the guys on our team and also in the world. Like, I think being a leader outside of baseball to the common population is also a huge thing. So just trying to continue to learn how to be a better leader on and off the field.
Perfect. Great answer.
Leadership.
Leadership
Necessary.
with a capital L.
Yeah.
The capital L.
All caps. What you got, Tanaya?
Actually,
It's time
Are you
for
ready?
off the
tracks.
off the tracks.
You're gonna do the thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I feel like there should be a different sound for
I do.
that, but
Okay.
we'll figure that out later.
Yeah.
What song is on repeat right now?
What songs on repeat? So I'm a huge Detroit rap fan. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. So,
I like V's a lot. So Wavy Navy University. It's gonna be one of my walk-up songs this year. That and then All of the Above by T-Pain. Those are.
T-Pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people involved in that song, right? All the
Yeah.
above. Yeah.
You know your
That's
music.
all the
It's-
above.
Yeah.
All the above.
Yeah. Those are my two walk-ups this year. So
That
That's
is a great song. It's like a 5-minute track.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a long song, but it's really good. So
Yeah.
So what's your go-to karaoke song then?
oh, I did. So we have bus karaoke.
Softball has
Softball
bus
does
karaoke
too.
too.
Yeah. I sang Mr. Brightside last year.
Okay.
But I mean, there's so many good ones. You can't choose one.
I know. I have one, but it'll never change.
Maybe some Rihanna. That'd be a good one.
Oh.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Beyonce,
Yeah.
T-Pain. That's
Yeah.
I always go sometimes there.
Everyone
Chris
says,
Brown.
see Breezy.
Yeah.
See Breezy.
Who has the best voice on the team?
I'd like to say me, but
Okay.
Nick Dolan has a good voice too. Yeah.
Nice.
So we say that in the sense of, does he take karaoke seriously?
I think we all do. And I
Oh.
think we get into it. Yeah.
Okay.
This year the freshmen were kind of not great at it, but I mean,
They're shy.
yeah, we move on. They were kind of quiet, and we were kind of like giving them some trouble, but yeah, they were all right.
Good.
That's funny. That's really funny. All right, you have the opportunity to face any pitcher in the world. It can be somebody that's never pitched before, celebrity or something, or you
Yeah.
can talk pitching specific. Who would you want to face as a hitter in baseball?
Honestly, I think it'd be really, really cool to face like Justin Verlander or Trevor Bauer. I think those two guys are pretty big in the pitching world, influential guys that have been around for a long time, know a lot about pitching, and I'd like to just be able to get in the box and see like what they do, and I think it'd be a huge help to like learn a lot more about like what pitchers do, just to kind of get in their head so I can dominate, you know.
Nice.
For sure.
Your favorite meal?
Favorite meal? I'm a huge sushi guy.
Ah.
But I mean, other than that, like steak, stuff like that.
Sushi. You like Kroger sushi?
It's all right, yeah.
Where do you get it from? Athens. Where do you get sushi?
Athens, Mr. Hibachi.
Oh, okay.
They got some good sushi.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I like sushi. What about dinner with one celebrity? Who would you have dinner with?
That's hard. That's really hard. Probably. Is it like a celebrity crush, like dating?
I mean,
Anybody.
anybody.
Anybody that
Yeah.
pops in your brain.
Anybody.
Probably Probably like MJ,
Ooh,
Which one?
Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Michael
Michael
Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah, that'd be a cool dinner.
That'd
Yeah,
be
it would
crazy.
be.
Yeah.
Stuck on an island and you can only bring one essential item. These are tough.
Probably bring my phone
Yeah.
or like something to do with baseball, like a bat or something.
I have a thought though.
What's
you bring
that?
your phone and you know those like attachable phone chargers?
Yeah.
Would that be considered one item or is that two?
Oh, you're right.
That's
How
two
do
if
I
it's
charge my
if,
phone?
if it's an attachable item, right?
Well, how
Yes.
long am I at this island?
Stuck.
I'm stuck for life.
Until other, I don't know.
So
We didn't
somebody saved you. We didn't go that far.
You're doing a good job of questioning the question.
Yeah, there we go.
Picking it apart.
Yeah, that's a good point though. You go low on battery, you're screwed. You're not
Yeah.
your bat or your glove will never lose battery.
Exactly.
So you will definitely have that.
Yeah, I'll find a way to create a baseball.
You could
there, right?
Yeah.
you can use the bat to be like SOS.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's dual purpose, you know.
For sure. All right, what's the coolest class or most interesting class you've taken as a student athlete at OU?
Honestly, like right now, I'm taking international sports management right now, and it's really cool to be able to take classes with students abroad. I have like a group project right now in it, and it's with like a whole bunch of German students. So kind of getting to learn their culture as well as like learn about sports in their area is really cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that.
cool.
I like that a lot. Let's see. Would you rather want I have to like look at this question because it's so complicated.
Yeah.
Would you rather know what everyone thinks of you or everyone knows what you think of them?
Probably know what everyone thinks of me.
Okay.
I feel like that's pretty helpful. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You'd learn a lot for sure and
Yeah.
but you have to have the like a filter to like block out
Yeah.
the good, the bad, the in between. Although the all of it would fuel you regardless, I would think, right?
Yeah, I mean, and also like the other side, like I don't really have many bad thoughts of people. Like I'm a pretty nice guy, get along with everyone, so it's kind of just like I think everyone knows what I think of them. So like,
Okay. It's a good way to put it.
Except for the people that you're playing against.
oh yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd like them to know what I think of them.
What's your favorite pizza topping?
Probably bacon or pepperoni, something like that.
Easy.
Cool.
And a superpower.
Superpower,
What would you want?
super speed.
Super speed.
Like that.
Yeah, could steal so many bags.
All right, Trae. Well, really appreciate you hopping on Bobcat Tracks
Appreciate
during your busy schedule. Good luck the rest of the season. We look forward to following you along and the team as well out
you.
there, Bob Wren Stadium and beyond. So thanks for your time, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
All right, our third and final guest on Bobcat Tracks presented by Labatt Blue. On the wrestling team, we head to the mat, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome Jeremy Olszko.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Round of applause, round of applause. How's everything going?
It's been going good. You know, just been focusing on wrestling and school right now, so keeping me busy.
The only things you need to focus.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, we're going to start with your interests outside of wrestling. A little bit of a curveball from how we started the first two conversations. What are some things that you like to do, Jeremy, outside of wrestling?
Really just mainly just hanging out with friends. I fish a lot. I ride dirt bikes back home. Actually, last summer, I didn't ride at all because I was down here training or whatever. So I didn't do that last summer, which was a little disappointing. But yeah, college has just been a little bit different. You know, don't want to get hurt, and I've been down here training. So, but yeah, that's what I like to kind of do outside of wrestling. And yeah,
How was your first summer being in Athens for you?
I actually really liked it. I kind of came back and forth, like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. The 1 week I went down to West Virginia to help out with a camp or whatever, so that was really cool. But being down here in the summer, I didn't know like how I'd like it at first, but it turned out being like really productive, and it was just nice to, you know, wrestle year round and just kind of like focus on, you know, getting better in my technique and everything like that. So
I bet Joel Greenlee was happy that you ditched the dirt bikes and worked and put the work in, the extra work in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He was encouraging us to be down here, and at the start, I honestly didn't know how much I was going to be down here in the summer, and then how everything worked out, I was like, all right, I'll come back and forth, try to get down here as much as I can. So it was, like I said, like I liked it, and then for this next coming summer, I'm probably going to be down here for at least 2 months. So it'll be good. Just keep improving.
How does the training differ from the in-season practice workout stuff to the summer stuff that you all do?
Yeah, really in the summer, I think it's more focused on, technique and just it's not as fast paced. You're not really trying to tired yourself, I say. Like in practice now, like you're really just trying to push the pace all the time, try to get your endurance up. But, in the summer you could kind of slow it down so it's more relaxed, You're a little bit heavier in weight, so everything's you're eating more, everything feels better. But you kind of just slow it down and just really focus on the areas that you need to improve on. So it's really just nice little switch up.
Weight is everything, it seems, in the sport of wrestling. You're aligned by weight classes. Yeah. It's very calculated. Chatting with Jordan Greer about this, chatting with Derek Rake about just the specifics of weight. How do you know exactly how much you weigh right now?
Probably 188. But
Okay.
So that's originally I was going to go 74 this year, so it was going to be I in the summer I was up to about 200. So coming down to 74, I made weight 74, and then that's when Garrett Thompson, he realized that 65 would be too much of a cut for him. He came up to 74. So actually this year, the weight cut has not been bad at all. So it's nice to have a little bit more weight on me, not have to worry too much about weight. So that's where you talk about Rake and Greer. They're two different ends of the spectrum. Greer's sitting there trying to eat as much as he can, tracking his calories, and Rake's tracking his calories, trying to keep his weight down. That way he's able to perform. At the end of the week.
We talk about mental aspects on all different sides of every sport. That has to be probably the most mentally painstaking.
Yeah, it is bad.
How has that been, especially going from different weight classes, honestly?
So like I said, this year it's been 10 times better, being up a weight class, that's 10 extra pounds, I have to, play with. And but in years past, it really is a mental game because once you start getting towards the end of the week, you start bringing your weight down, you kind of suck down. You don't really want to do the extra practices, and it is just very mentally tolling, but at the end of the day, it's something that you got to do, and you just got to kind of suck it up. So
is there any advice that you've been given about how to handle the food intake part of and the maintaining weight intake part of the sport?
Yeah, so Greenlee, he really doesn't want you to get more than 10 pounds over at the beginning of the week. So last year, that's kind of where I try to keep myself at. And obviously we do it so much that everyone knows kind of at what point in the week what weight you should be on. So a couple days out, getting the weight down. But yeah, Greenlee doesn't really like us getting bigger than 10 pounds. So it really is, if you follow that rule, kind of, it makes it a lot better towards the end of the week. You have a lot more energy and stuff like that. So
nice. That's fascinating.
It is.
Yeah. So let's go back in time, hop in a time machine, and go back to your upbringing. Tell us where you grew up and what you were like as a kid.
Yeah. I played football, baseball, and I wrestled as a kid. I started pretty much all of those in kindergarten. Actually, I started wrestling because my older cousin wrestled or whatever, and one day, me and my older brother, we came home after school. My dad's like, hey, you want to try this out? I was like, yeah, we'll see how it goes or whatever. And since then, I've been hooked, and I didn't know, as a kid, I wanted to play football, in college and stuff like that. And then as probably sophomore year of high school, I was like, I ended up liking wrestling more just because of it's just you and another guy. At the end of the day, it's football is a great sport. I love it. But at the end of the day, it's a team aspect where wrestling, it's really just, you and another guy, I said. So that aspect. But then I played football and I wrestled in high school. I stopped playing, I played travel baseball, but then I stopped when I was in high school. And then, I played football and football and I wrestled all throughout high school. And then, actually, I don't know if you know this, but Cody Walters, his dad was my high school coach. And
Wow.
But I'd known him since I was in 5th grade because my older brother wrestled in high school. So I used to go up to the high school practices on the weekends and stuff like that. So I've known Cody's dad since, I was in 4th, 5th grade. And then eventually Cody came back my junior year and was my coach and my drill partner that whole year. And that's really when me and him built a relationship. And as soon as he started recruiting me in high school, I knew that this was a school I was going to come to. So that was pretty cool.
Okay.
It's so interesting and fascinating, like the relationships and the channels of everything. I remember chatting with Jordan Greer, and he told me about the high school experience he had where he was coached by Jeremy Johnson. Jeremy Johnson, an Ohio wrestling legend, and he was actually just inducted into the Ohio Athletics Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible. And then I loved hearing Jordan's introduction into the sport of wrestling. He said he was at a church retreat.
Yeah,
and
that's
like
what he told us.
mattresses were just like on the floor, and he didn't. I don't even think he knew what wrestling was.
Yeah, no, he didn't
was
at
just
all.
wrestling.
Yeah, he said that he just tried it out and was like, wait, I kind of like this. So
Yeah.
it got him hooked.
Was your introduction into wrestling a bit different? Did you know exactly what the sport was, or you just were kind of fighting in the basement?
I was so young. Really, so my older cousin that did wrestle, he's big into WWE. That's actually what he does, like amateur right now. But so he used to always like hit WWE moves on me. I was the younger cousin. And but I didn't really have a formal introduction, to wrestling when I started in kindergarten. My dad asked me if I wanted to do it, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. So, and then I've been with it ever since. But
That's cool. That's really cool.
Relationships are key.
Yeah, really key. So this trajectory that you're on, you kind of alluded to it earlier, Cody Walters and his dad, and knowing Cody at a young age, a big reason, I'm assuming, why you ultimately chose Ohio. What did your recruiting process look like out of high school? Were you satisfied with what you did from a wrestling standpoint at the high school level?
no, not at all. I took 4th as a junior and 4th as a senior. Definitely feel like I could have won it both years, and it just came down to, I messed up in a couple places, but Cody was there my junior year, just picking me up, and but yeah, coming out of high school, I was not satisfied at all, and I think that's kind of what has kept me going into college. Still a lot of people win states, that are in D1 in high school, and I never had that experience, so I feel like that's what's still like fueling me today. So
Into the top. You said the process to get to Ohio was kind of easy for you because of Cody. Did you still take that process of still looking at other schools? Or?
Yeah, I took a couple visits. I just wanted to kind of see like what a D2 school would look like. So I went to Ashland on an unofficial, and then I ended up going to Kent State before here on an official. And then I knew that this would be my second official visit, and there was supposed to be a couple after that. But as soon as I came here, I was like,
It's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap. I basically committed right there in Greenlee's office, and I'm very happy I did so.
What was his reaction when you committed? Is it like, let's get to work, or
Yeah, basically, yeah. He was just
that
yeah.
smile is like,
Yeah. He knew he had me, so.
That's great. So this is your second full season with the Ohio wrestling team?
Yeah.
What is your biggest memory or your mindset kind of when you first started with the wrestling program? Do you feel like you were prepared for this level of wrestling?
No, coming into college, it's totally different. I almost think of it as a different sport. Coming in, you always want to, you have the high hopes of, I could hang with these guys in the room, but, you come in and you get your butt whooped, and you just it just kind of is mind-boggling that there is another level to the sport when you kind of think, that you're at the top or whatever. But yeah, coming in, I definitely took my fair share of beatings. But yeah, so coming in, like I said, I almost thought of it as another sport. And my when I redshirted last year, my whole focus was basically just stay as healthy as I could the whole season. Go to sleep on time. Anytime that I for example, getting a skin infection or getting sick, that time off the mat is ultimately holding back from progressing and getting better. So that's really what I focused on last year, is just being in the room as much as I can, grabbing every day the better guys, even though some days you're like, I don't want to get whooped today basically, but yeah, at the end of the day it's like it's something that you need to do, and you got to get with those top guys. So really last year was mainly I was always trying to get with Sal, Zane, Garrett, and then obviously Cody a lot too. So
You say you talk about like just how it's just a different feeling coming in. What have you learned about yourself beyond the fact of just like, you know, you're just going to a new level, but also just you said you redshirted as well.
Yeah.
What have you learned in the process that helps you get to now?
really it was just like I said, just being in the room every day and just I always say to myself, just 1% better every day. It's almost cliche, but
I say it every day.
yeah, that's all I'm focused on is if I could get 1% better every day, you're just stacking those days, and I feel like that's what's got me here today. But the biggest thing that I would say the difference from high school to college is mainly like the hand fight. It's just so different. Guys are always going to be in good position or whatever, so just getting guys, that slight little chance you have to, fire a shot off, it is very different from high school. So I feel like that's the biggest difference.
Explain a little bit the hand fighting that does go on, because I know that every bout that starts, whether it's no matter what weight class it is,
right,
there's this initial just kind of feeling out your opponent, and then at some point somebody's got to make the move. So take me through that process of how you sort of feel out the initial hand fighting, and then when you start to change it up a little bit and make it interesting.
Yeah, I mean, really just off the start, I kind of really the hand fight breaks your opponent down throughout the match. So obviously both guys starting the match, you're going to be at 100%. And I'm just really focused on getting my hands moving, taking a lot of fakes and stuff like that, getting them moving and just weighing on the guy. That's what me and Cody always talk about, is just weighing on a guy, I'm trying to get to positions where it's making that other my opponent work, where I'm kind of not doing as much. I'm kind of holding myself and trying to break him down a little bit. And then as the guy starts getting tired, that's when stuff starts opening up. And that's really how I go into it, is just trying to keep the pace. I always talk about my pace, just trying to stay on them, and eventually a guy's going to break. So
it's interesting. I still every time I watch wrestling, it takes a little bit of time for me to be on top of all right, this is the move that just happened, until the official holds up. All right, a 3-point, it's a 3-point takedown, or 1 point escape, 2 point of reversal, near fall. All these ways to score. Yeah. Do you have a favorite way to score? I know you want to pin every single person, but do you have your go-to way to score?
So I'm pretty good on my feet, but really I'm actually trying to get better in college. Cody was a dog on top. Cody, that's what he did in college. He rode everyone, and I always rode people in high school, so that's where me and Cody kind of really connect, is our riding legs and stuff like that. So in an ideal world, I want to just rack points up on top, but at the end of the day, that doesn't always happen. And if I'm not getting what I want, then I'll end up kicking a guy and score from my feet too. So I'm very confident from all three positions, but like I said, in the ideal world, it would be from top.
Interesting. It's very complex. It's very very fascinating to unpack all that. So you're now wrestling at 184.
Yep.
184, and making that adjustment. Do you want to stay at 184, or are you flexible with wherever?
Really for next season, I'm not too sure. I mean, I feel really good at 84. This offseason, I'm definitely going to try to, get a little bit bigger. But if I did end up dropping back down to 74, either weight class, it would either be 74 or 84. I'm not really, married to one, so to say. But I do feel really good at 84 this year.
Talk about the team vibe and environment. There's definitely that the individual presence of just one wrestler versus another wrestler in a match. But what are some things that you all do to stay close and locked in with each other and relate to what each other are going through?
I mean, really, we're all going through the same thing every day. So that's kind of what bonds us. I really see us as a big group of brothers. We're all very close. And like I said, we're going through the same practices. We're going through the same thoughts. We're all, cutting the weight. We all go through we have the same exact thoughts, every day. And I think that's really what, bonds us together, is, just pushing through that. And, so.
Love that.
Still there, even though it's an individual feeling.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
still there.
Team
Understand each other.
team vibe, connected, all that. What duel or individual matchup, like throughout your entire wrestling career, is most memorable?
I'd have to think about that.
Yeah.
Cool. I really like the Kent one probably, just because it's it's
Yeah.
a grudge match and
That
things
was
like that.
senior day, right?
Yeah, that was our senior night.
And
Our senior day.
Jordan Greer got
Crazy.
the pin.
Yeah.
Last time wrestling in the convo.
I know.
What a moment for Jordan Greer.
Best way to go out with the pin. But yeah, really just that duel. Like I said, it's the grudge match, and just being from that area. Kent's probably only 20 minutes from me.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
and just being recruited by them and coming here, just can't go out there and lose then,
I know.
But so yeah, that's probably the most memorable.
Gotcha. What has the Ohio wrestling program done for you as a person?
Everything. I mean, yeah, everything. They have built me to the man I am today, and Greenlee's a great coach, great guy. So is Cody and Pac too, and they're always trying to improve you, and even on the days where you're feeling down or whatever, they're there to push you, and just in wrestling as well as like just school in general or other aspects of your life. If they see you struggling, they're they're kind of on you. It's kind of like having a parent figure down here, at college almost. They're kind of on you and making sure that you're doing all the right things. So.
Nice. What is your major right now? Do you have a passion for something, or are you trying to figure that out?
So my major is business analytics, and then I'm probably gonna it's a co-major with finance. I'm looking into maybe doing accounting right now. I'm in accounting 1010, so I'd have to kind of declare that co-major like after the semester. But I'm not leaning one towards another like as far as finance and accounting. But
Okay.
I
Good
do
with
it-
numbers?
Yeah, pretty good math guy.
Do you need a calculator for a lot of the
Oh yeah. I'm not like that. Yeah.
If I say like 24 times 18, you'll need a calculator.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Back
Some
in,
people are crazy. Like I don't.
Yeah.
in high school, I might have been able to do it because that's when I was in like all like calculus and stuff like that. But I probably couldn't. It'd take me a second right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's really cool. I used to do a lot of like math. And I think it's. I did lean towards the I couldn't do that type of multiplication division.
Algebra is where I stop.
No, I just like the calculator. That way you know you're right.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's reassurance.
Yeah.
that's cool. What's your calculator? What calculator do you use?
It's 84 TI 84.
TI 84. I think I had
Yeah.
a TI 83, maybe back in the day.
Yeah.
Not to date myself.
Let's say. Go on there, bro.
That's pretty cool though. Before we get into some off the track, some rapid fire questions, one question that I have been asking our other guests is, what's the next challenge you're taking on? What's the next thing that you're trying to learn about yourself as a student athlete here at Ohio?
Really just my potential. I think I'm very far from what I could do in this sport. And like I said, every day I'm just trying to work towards that goal and just push myself a little bit more and more every day. And hopefully when I'm a senior, all those things I could look back at it and never feel like I should have done more. So that's really what keeps me going every day.
Good.
Period.
And wise.
What's that?
He's wise.
Yeah.
We had nothing but sophomores.
Yeah, a lot of motivated people on here today. Really, really inspiring and
It's good for the future.
yeah, the future's bright here.
Yeah, it is. It
here
is, definitely is.
at Ohio. All right, so off the tracks, some rapid fire questions. Boom. What song is on repeat right now?
What song? Shoot. Honestly, I don't even know that question.
It's okay. We can come back to it.
Yeah, come back to it. I got to think about that
You got
one.
to think about that one?
Or no,
Okay.
actually, no, I got it. On
Okay.
One Tonight by Gunna.
Say it again.
Ghana.
On One Tonight by Gunna.
Ghana.
That's what it was. I couldn't think of the title. I knew it was Gunna, but I couldn't think of the title.
Is that the same song that you would do karaoke to?
No. Karaoke would be something definitely country.
Okay.
Probably like some Tyler Childers or something like that. Feathered Indians or something like that. So
Nice.
Nice. Wrestle anyone in the world. Who would you pick?
Cody Walters, every day. Every day.
Cody!
I joke with him every day. That's the guy
Cody.
I'm trying to
we
beat.
gotta get
Look into that camera and
Like-
say, Cody.
Cody Walters every day. Every day.
He's not playing around.
You've probably wrestled him in practice,
Yeah,
right?
all the time.
Yeah,
Actually, I wrestled him this morning.
What's like that like wrestling Cody? Is he still what he once was at Ohio?
I honestly think he might be better. Don't tell him I said this. Don't tell him I said this. But no, he's very like unconventional to say. Like sometimes wrestling him, it just doesn't make sense. Or like I'll think I got something on him or whatever, and then he'll hit something, and I'm like, come on, like I thought I was about to score right there.
That's
But,
crazy.
Yeah, I mean he is very knowledgeable in the sport, and that's kind of like what I said has drawn me to this coming to Ohio, because he was a great wrestler, but I honestly think he's an even better coach.
So since you wrestle, you practice with him. Besides Cody.
Besides Cody,
Or it could be a non-wrestler.
Yeah.
Jordan Burroughs. I want to feel like he's got a really good blast double. They always talk about the Burroughs double. I want to see what that would feel like.
Okay, nice. Getting back real quick to Cody Walters, I want to just ask what's the number one thing he's taught you as a wrestler?
Really that nobody could hang with my pace, and that's kind of like what we focus on is, just tiring these guys out throughout the match and just always staying in good position. And even if I do start to get tired, like I have to, hold position and figure out how to, really just stay mentally hard.
Like that.
Yeah.
Dinner with one celebrity.
Dinner with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, interesting.
Love his movies. I don't think there's a single movie with him in it that I don't like. So.
The Great Gatsby. Did you watch that?
I did watch that.
Oh.
Back
Nice.
in high school, I watched that.
Yeah.
It's actually a good movie.
It is.
It is a good movie.
It is.
What would be the first question you'd ask him?
What was it like filming Wolf of Wall Street?
That's a
good.
great. Yeah, that
That's
would open
good.
up a lot.
Yeah.
That would be a
It
good
would-
ice.
yeah.
Could be a good icebreaker before the appetizer comes.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Are you gonna do it?
I'm trying to figure out which one I want to ask. So, you're stuck on an island. What's one item? If you can only bring one item to this island, what item would you bring?
Something almost like no. We're surrounded by salt water.
It's a great question.
Gosh,
If we're
We're getting
surrounded
the. We're getting the.
If we're surrounded by salt water, I'm definitely bringing like all the water I can, the biggest supply of water. But if it was fresh water, there was a freshwater source, probably something like a good like sleeping bag or something like that. Like I'm just thinking about like shelter or something like that.
Yeah, I like that. That's a
We didn't
unique
think
answer.
about the difference of water. It's great. Great thought.
It
okay,
is.
here we go. Would you rather know what everyone thinks about you or everyone knows what you think of them?
I want to know what everyone thinks about me.
Is that 3 for 3?
I can't even remember. That question is so complicated. I need to go back and watch what everybody's answers were.
Everyone thinks about you.
Yeah, definitely
Okay.
what everyone thinks about me.
I feel like I would want to know what everyone thinks about me so that I'm motivated regardless whether it's good, bad, in between
No,
what,
yeah,
what they
exactly.
think of me. But then
Yeah.
I also think like if everybody knows what I think of them, like I also like I don't necessarily like you that's fine too.
I have no poker face, so you probably know how I think about you. Sorry.
Are there some people that you've wrestled in the past, whether it's in the MAC or in high school, where like what they think of you or how like the moves that you're gonna try to do, or is it surprise?
I mean, in high school, I feel like you see a lot more of the same guys.
Okay.
I wrestled a couple guys a couple times in high school, and win or loss, they know that it's going to be terrible to wrestle me. Like, I'm going to come hard and tire you out and do whatever I can. But in college, I don't know. I'm still this is my first year starting, so it's seen a lot of new guys, I would say, this year, and so I don't know if they've been doing any film on me or anything like that. But
Gotcha. What's the coolest class you've taken so far at OU?
coolest class. I did take a dance class. I did intro to dance culture. It wasn't. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I'm kind of happy I took it and knocked out a lot of like credits. But like, yeah. But like when so I originally like signed up for it. Actually, when I was doing my scheduling on my orientation, the computers went down. So all I could like look for was like course numbers and like that there was barely no description or whatever. So it just said intro to dance culture. So I was like, okay, it'll probably just be a lecture or whatever. First day.
Dancing.
I was in one of those classes too.
It was a lecture, and then they also like had us go to a studio every couple times throughout like the semester or whatever. And I was like,
You didn't have to do a recital though.
I had it for our final. It was a 5-minute presentation, like with our dance group, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this. It ended up not being that bad because I was in a group, but if I had to do it myself, I'd been like, oh.
Yeah, I had to drop that class. But it was.
That's wild.
Yeah. What superpower would you have?
Superpower.
Could have a superpower.
Travel anywhere I want. If I could teleportation.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like that would be cool.
Where would you want to teleport to right now?
Bali. I don't know. I always like see like on Instagram stuff like that. This one I forget his name, but I always see he lives in Bali and it just looks very beautiful out there. So if I could, just teleport out there real quick.
All right. We'll be right back. We're on our way. 3, 2, 1.
Bali.
Here we
we're
are.
on the water.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Wow, this is different.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
This is different. I think that's all we got. Oh, what's your favorite pizza topping?
Pizza topping, banana peppers, all day.
I think we got that answer
No, we
earlier.
got bacon and pepperoni.
Oh, okay, I thought we got maybe a
That's solid, but banana peppers all day.
Okay, what's your favorite meal?
Favorite meal? Anything to do with a steak. Something.
Protein.
Yeah.
Gotta get that
Nice.
protein, guys. Get that protein.
Exactly.
Jeremy, thank you so much for coming on Bobcat Tracks. We really
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck.
Appreciate
The MAC championships and what's on the horizon for your team. So can't wait to see what happens.
Sounds good. Thank you. Like I said, thanks again for having me, and hopefully you'll see me at MAC Champ. So
There you
that's
go.
the plan.
Woo!
That's the plan.
Talk about it.
Talk about it.
All right, that's a wrap. Bobcat Tracks March edition in the books, presented by Labatt Blue. Some awesome conversations with Brenna Farmer, Jeremy Olszko, and Trae Cassidy. And it's just inspiring to hear some of the dialogue about both the mental side of the game, beyond their sport. It's really inspiring.
Yeah, and Jeremy was talking before we even started the interview. He was like, you guys got a bunch of underclassmen. I was like, you're underclassmen, but you are very much wise beyond your years with the understanding of how to balance being a student athlete. And it's great to see for not just themselves, but the future for Ohio athletics. And it says a lot for beyond just the athlete, but the coaching staff and every part that helps keep an athlete stick together.
Yeah, it's hard to unpack. It's pretty impressive, though.
It is.
We love it. And we want to thank everyone for joining us throughout the course of this March edition of Bobcat Tracks with our 3 guests, Brenna Farmer, Jeremy Olszko, and Trae Cassidy. And we look forward to our April episode. It'll be here in, these
Just
fly
before you-
by.
It does. Just before you know it,
These,
it'll be here.
these weeks fly by. So thanks for tapping in, and we will talk to you next month. Go Bobcats.
Go Bobcats.